What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and we're back for another episode of the fighting game tutorial series. In this episode we're going to be going over cleaning up our hitboxes even further. So the last few episodes in our game we've been going over cleaning up different projects, different systems, different mechanics in our game, and the reason we've been doing this is because we're starting to put out episodes on rollback netcode and AI, these very complex topics that we really need to finish off our tutorial series. But to do this, we want to make sure that everything that we have in the series, such as our hitboxes, our animation blueprints, our characters, is super clean. We're getting very close to that point. We have a few more episodes on hitboxes and we have a few more episodes on the animation blueprint. Then I'll be very happy with where we're actually at in our game. So today's episode is going to be cleaning up more of our hitbox behavior, converting it from blueprints to code, making it more efficient, removing redundant nodes, and more. If you want to get caught up in the entire fighting game tutorial series and see how we've done things like our practice mode, our input stacks, our round timers, our hitboxes, and a whole lot more, I'll link you to the entire fighting game tutorial series playlist right here in the top right corner. Alternatively, if you only care about the hitboxes, making hitboxes for your game, or having clean hitboxes in your game, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to follow along with the whole series to follow along with these episodes, but I do recommend that you watch the previous episode of hitboxes so that you know the exact systems that we're working with today. I'll link you to the first episode of hitboxes in this series right here in the top right corner. And with that said, we're ready to get started. So this is a code and blueprint tutorial series. As I mentioned, we're going to be converting logic from blueprints to code, cleaning up the blueprints, and adding things to the code in general. So we will be working in both. We're going to start out in the hitbox actor BP so that we know what we're converting. It's in blueprints, functional BPs, hitbox actor BP. When we're in our hitbox actor BP, what we want to do is go to our functions that we plan on converting. And for me, this is going to be the update projectile durability. We can go to it on the function list here. And everything that we're doing in this function can easily be converted to code. The only thing that is exclusive to Blueprint in this function is the parameter. The projectile reference is a default projectile BP. However, nothing in this function is using anything specific to the blueprint of the projectile. And that means we can simply use a regular default projectile for this parameter. There's another thing that we can convert as well: safely delete hitboxes. This is a function that we have for some of our projectile logic, and we can easily convert this to code as well and improve it. The main thing that we want to do in today's episode, though, is update projectile durability. The first thing we need to do to convert this is go back to our code and go back to .cpp and hitboxactor.h. However, this is updating the projectile's durability. This was being done in the hitbox actor blueprint because this is where the collisions occur on the hitboxes, and thus that's when the durability was being taken away or changed. However, this can really be a function on the projectile class itself, which I think makes more sense because then we can update the durability of our projectiles at any point. If you search for this, you'll see we're only calling it in the hitbox actor BP, but we may want to call this function elsewhere. Additionally, if we make this a function within the base projectile class, then we don't need the parameter at all. The projectile reference that was being passed in from the hitbox actor is now just the class that we're calling it on. If we go back into the code, we can now close our hitbox actor files because we are going to go to our base projectile files instead. Let's open up baseprojectile.cpp and baseprojectile.h. In the header file, or the .h file, we want to add our function. I'll come down below my other blueprint callable functions in here and I'll make a new one. Calculate the projectile's durability and return if it should be destroyed upon next collision. This is going to be a U function that is blueprint callable because, again, we're calling it from the hitbox actor blueprint, so we need to be able to call it within blueprints. We'll make this void calculate projectile durability. You could call it update projectile durability like it was in the blueprint. There's not going to be a clash here because we're doing this in the base projectile now, not the base hitbox actor. But I just happen to like the word calculate more for this right now, so that's what I'm going to use. Again, we don't care about this parameter here. We don't need any parameters in here. We're already in the projectile as being calculated. Now we want to go back to our base projectile.cpp and create this function. And actually, I'm going to create this below my destroy projectile, but I often like to put my functions in a proper spot for the order that they would actually occur. So for example, the projectile would be initialized, then the projectile durability would be assessed, and then we would destroy the projectile. That is just me being very specific about how I like to make my functions. I don't always follow this, but since this is a small class, I think it makes a lot of sense to do so. Let's go ahead and make our function void a base projectile : calculate projectile durability. Then in here we have to copy what we've done in the blueprint. The first thing that we do is check to see if this projectile can be destroyed by durability. So essentially, if this is a projectile that has a certain number of hits or collisions it can take, it can be destroyed by durability. If not, then it doesn't matter what's going on here. If it collides with another projectile, great. If it collides with another attack, great. The other projectile or other attack may be affected, but this one won't. So we're just going to return false here because we're not trying to destroy this projectile based on the durability or even set it up to be destroyed. We're going to type if can be destroyed by durability, and we're going to add an else statement here. The else statement is the false in the branch, and all it does is return false. That's what we're going to do in the code as well. So return false. Then we're going to say the projectile cannot be destroyed by durability. At this point we return false and that's it. But I was being a little bit silly here and I made this function void when of course we're returning a boolean. So make that bool calculate projectile durability and do the same for the CPP. Bool. Now, if the branch returns true, this means this projectile can be destroyed by its durability, and so we have to take the durability, subtract 1 from it, and set that to be the new durability. This is only valid if we're only decrementing this value, but maybe we have something that takes off more than 1 durability of a projectile. We can very easily expand upon this logic in code by not subtracting 1 automatically, but subtracting a durability damage, then setting the projectile's durability to the result of that subtraction. If we go back into the header file now, we can expand upon this and say integer durability damage. Inside of this if statement, we want to take our durability and minus equal durability damage. This is going to subtract the durability damage from the durability and then set durability equal to that result. Then we want to go under this and check if the durability is less than or equal to 1. If it's less than or equal to 1, like we have in the blueprint here, we know that the projectile should be destroyed on the next collision, regardless of other factors. That takes care of all this. And then what we do is we set this boolean on the projectile should be destroyed upon collision if the branch returns true. So if we go into this if statement, we want to do this here as well. So should be destroyed upon collision equals true. After that, we return true in the blueprint, and we also want to do this here because at this point we're saying the projectile is ready to be destroyed on the next collision, so it's run out of durability, so we return true. The other case here is if we return false of this previous branch or previous if statement. Let's add an else to this durability check. Else this means the durability is greater than 1, which means we return false because the projectile should not be destroyed upon the next collision. And let's say should not automatically be destroyed from the next collision, because we could encounter another situation where the durability damage coming into this function is enough to deplete the remaining durability. But we cannot assume that this projectile will be destroyed automatically upon the next collision, so we're still going to return false. At this point, we've copied the entire blueprint function into the code, into the C++, and we're ready to replace this function with our code function. So we can go back to the code, stop running, and relaunch. The editor is back open. We want to go back to our hitbox actor blueprint. So blueprints, functional BPs, hitbox actor BP. We want to look for all the references of our update projectile durability. We can right click and find references or Control F and search for it. You'll see there's one in this event right here where we're checking for projectile collision. You'll see that the projectile reference being passed into this function call is coming from a default projectile BP that we have here. So instead of passing it into a function, we simply want to call calculate projectile durability right off of that object and replace this old node with our new node. Plug everything in the way it was, so the true branch from the can be destroyed by melee, and then it goes into another branch. The return value is the boolean, and then we update the durability damage to default to 1 in this case. And we continue along onto the next one, which is in our function perform projectile to projectile collision. And you'll see there's a very similar setup here. We're using a projectile reference that we passed into the function, and the return value is not used in this call of it, but we are using it to update the actual projectile durability. And this means we want to drag off of the projectile reference being passed in here, the other projectile ref, drag off of that, call calculate projectile durability, and we're going to hook it up just like update projectile durability was hooked up. Remember, you don't need to do anything with the return value here, but we do want to set the durability damage to 1 by default. Then let's go to the next one. It's still in the same function. A very similar setup. We have our projectile reference. This one comes from a cast here, and we can do the same thing. We can drag off of that cast or that return node and call calculate projectile durability, set the durability damage to 1, and replace the old node. At this point, we can try and search for update projectile durability again, and when we do that, we're not going to get any results other than the function itself. This means you can remove everything in this function, and that means you can delete the function entirely. Then we can compile and save, and everything will still work the same way. We've successfully converted that from blueprints to code, cleaned it up, and improved the performance and scalability of it. And there you go, guys. That's how you can improve your hitboxes, your collisions, and your projectiles in your game. We have a little bit more to do. Specifically, what's here in the event graph could be cleaned up and converted to code, but we're getting very close. Then we're going to be hitting the rest of these systems very hard. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you want to learn more about cleaning up your hitboxes, creating things for a fighting game, or some of my other series, then please subscribe. It does more for myself and the channel than anything else you can do, and it is completely free. If you want to add extra support to the channel, you can check out some of the benefits that you'll get from supporting the Patreon, YouTube membership, or Discord subscriptions. Thank you so much to everyone who already has. You guys are fantastic. If you ran into any problems following this tutorial or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. I would be happy to help you out. There's a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.